Cinematic Shuffle has shuffled once again. If you were around on my Twitter handle last week, you would have seen me give off my 3 hints, which were Undercover, Start Your Engines, and Brotherhood. The film in question, of course, is The Fast and the Furious. I did forget to post the same hints as a YouTube short, so for those of you waiting on that, I do apologize, but yeah, The Fast and the Furious and its humble beginnings. Let's get cracking. In the first of many, The Fast and the Furious tells the story of Brian O'Connor, an undercover police officer investigating a string of traffic crime involving street racers that are robbing 18-wheeler semi-trucks while on the road. His investigation leads him to Dom Toretto and his gang, or as he would like to put it, his family, in which he must insert himself and gain Dom's trust to learn who's behind the dangerous semi-truck theft ring. But Brian's also keeping a secret from his fellow police officers. That secret is that he loves the life of illegal street racing. So first and foremost, there seems to be 2 different kind of people when it comes down to this franchise as a whole. There's the people that absolutely love this part of the series, the much more serious, subdued, and realistic side of the series that's pretty much consistent for the first 4 movies. Then there's those of you like me that much prefer the series Fast 5 on, when it gets much more into the world of the ridiculous action and espionage crap. I love that. I love it. Give me some more of that. In the 10th movie, I want to see time travel, you know? I want to see Vin Diesel travel the multiverse and fight his other character, Riddick, while Groot's watching from afar. Give me that, you know? Give me it all. Call me crazy all you want, but I personally believe the crazier this franchise got, the better. And maybe that's just because I'm not really a big car guy, and the earlier films in the series felt a lot more like a car commercial than an actual film, and it didn't quite find that personality yet. But that's just how it is, at least for me. But those of you that are crying that the film series isn't returning to its roots of street racing, I don't know, you know? I'm kind of glad that that's the case, because to me, that was always boring. Yet a twinge of what the series is all about can definitely still be felt in this first film, especially when it comes down to the chemistry between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, and the all-encompassing feeling of family, which later becomes much more of a staple for the series. That is still in this film, but because the cast isn't as much of an ensemble situation as it is later on, it doesn't feel as important. A couple of the other franchise regulars are in this film though, such as Michelle Rodriguez's Letty and Jordana Brewster's Mia, but this early on, they don't quite feel as important on their own as they do later. Y'all are gonna hate me for saying this, but instead, these 2 mostly kind of just feel like love interests for the 2 leads here, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. Letty is a little bit more important because she's part of the gang, part of Vin Diesel's gang, but he has a lot of people in that gang, and she just kind of blends in with the rest of them. The rest of the team in further films definitely have a better job placing importance on each and every single member. This early on though, like I said, it's kind of empty on the importance overall unless you're looking specifically at Vin and Paul. The story of the robbing of the semis, that's a lot of fun though, and there's something there. This is something that they revisit throughout the series in certain ways, and that's good because there's a lot of great action going on in those scenes. As usual, I am annoyed when the cars drive under the trailers of the semi-trucks because as a former truck driver, I know that's insanely impossible, but for the magic of film, I do forgive it. The scene is great, though what's funny, I always kind of have to have a little bit of a laugh here, is that the thing that they're risking their lives over to steal that these trucks are driving are like tube TVs / VCR combinations. I'm not kidding, that's the stuff that they're stealing. And later on, when they're making plans to upgrade their cars, the plans for those upgrades are found on floppy drives. Yes, floppy drives. Ask your parents what those are. It's basically like this really big black Cheez-It looking thing. They hold a grand total of like 1.5 megabytes of storage. That's it. That's how much space are on those massive things. And apparently that's just enough space to hold software that can have wireframe 3D technology for car specifications and upgrades and Okay, fine, this movie might be more realistic than the rest of the films later on down the road, but it's still illogical. But we haven't quite traveled to the realm of stupidity yet, that we all know and love from the series at least. But overall, I think over the years, I grow more and more appreciation for the early years of the franchise. The first time that I saw this movie, I really didn't care for it. To me, it was a very, very bumpy watch. But knowing where it eventually goes, I do appreciate the nuances that you find in the film that stick around for a long time. And overall, the series has gone through its ups, it's gone through its downs, of course, and it's persevered for years. Even after the unfortunate death of Paul Walker, it stood strong. So I still think that on its own, the movie is solid, but it has a long, long, long way to go before it's anything to note. My final score for The Fast and the Furious is a B+ letter grade. Final overall score of 81%. 81 out of 100 possible stars. Again, this is a score that has slowly risen throughout the years. This is the third time that I've seen the movie. At least I might have seen it more, because I do own the series up to part 8 on Blu-ray. So I can say the love that I have for the series is present. And this is definitely not the worst of the worst. I don't think it's been a while. But guys, let me know what you thought about this movie in the comment section down below. Are you in the crowd that prefers the first half of the franchise that's much more serious, subdued, realistic? Or do you prefer the latter half when it gets to be ridiculous and over the top? Let me know, and as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next installment for the Cinematic Shuffle. And until then, peace!